Darling here, and it's great to be here with you today. I have a super powerful message to share with you. And this is something that I learned about a month ago or so and have been applying to my own life. And I have to tell you, it has been so incredibly enlightening and insightful. I've really gained a greater awareness and understanding of myself, of how I operate, of how I'm, interacting and creating and manifesting in the world, and ultimately has led me to a greater level of my own personal mastery, which is why I wanted to share this with you here today, because it will help you do the same thing and really help you embody more of your true potential as an empowered creator of your reality versus being a victim to it. So this is powerful stuff. Now, about a month ago, I read a book called The Divine Matrix by Gregg Braden. Highly recommend it. It is a phenomenal book. Gregg Braden is just a brilliant author. He talks about quantum physics and consciousness and the divine matrix as being this matrix, this unified field in which all life exists, and that this matrix itself is like our mirror. So every thought, every emotion, every intention, anything that is going on inside of us is kind of like sending signals out to the universe, to this matrix, to this unified field of existence, and is being reflected back to us through people, through situations and circumstances. So all of life is essentially a mirror. We're all mirrors for each other. So Gregg talks about, in the book, one of the things that really struck me are the 5 ancient mirrors, and why understanding these mirrors, again, like I shared with you, will help you to have a greater understanding of how you are creating your own reality and what different people or in situations in your life are teaching you about yourself. Because essentially, this life that we're living is a school. It's all about our own, growth and evolution. And a lot of times, we're either unconscious to or just can't see different parts of ourselves. And in really observing interactions that we have with other people and situations that we're attracting into our life, we are able to see those parts of us reflected in other people and other situations. So it's really exciting stuff. All right, so mirror number 1 is the mirror of the present moment. So we will attract people and situations into our life that will mirror or reflect to us how we are being in the present moment, what is going on within us, what we're holding on to. So let's say, for example, that you had a really frustrating day at work. So you're hanging on to all this frustration and you kind of stuff it down, and you get home and you have a conversation with your partner or your spouse. And after a few minutes, all of a sudden there's this like tension and frustration in the air in your conversation. And your perception is that your partner is releasing frustration on you. And then all of a sudden there's this, whirlwind of frustration and tension, and there's a big blow-up fight. Well, whether or not your partner was experiencing any frustration before you got home, it still was what you brought to that interaction. It was the signal that you were sending out, and your partner, whether consciously or not, received it and reflected it right back to you. So as you can see, it's really powerful for us to take personal responsibility for our interactions and what we are contributing and bringing to them, versus blame, versus saying, well, you were frustrated with me and you said this and da yada yada. The conscious thing to do is to really take a moment and reflect in a situation like that and ask yourself, how was I being in that moment? What energy, what signals was I putting out there? And, in this particular situation, you could say, oh, well, I was bringing my frustration home with me, and it was actually something that was brought out into my interaction with my spouse. All right, so powerful stuff. Really great for really taking personal responsibility for what you are creating and manifesting in your life. All right, so mirror number 2 is the mirror of what we judge. So if you judge something about a particular person or people in general, or life, or a specific group of people, or whatever it is, when you judge that, you will attract the people and situations to reflect to you that judgment that you are holding on to. All right, so if you judge people who are dishonest, right? You judge people who are dishonest because you are someone who is in integrity and you are an honest person, but deep down you judge people who aren't, you possibly, most likely, will attract situations and people to you who will show you that judgment of dishonesty, and they will be dishonest with you. And you can, complain all day and throw your hands in the air and, why me? Why am I experiencing this? Yada, yada. I'm so honest. I come from integrity, blah, blah, blah. Well, yes, you do, but you're also holding on to this judgment that is unresolved, that isn't healed yet. So you're attracting people to reflect that to you. So again, we can heal. So again, we can be clear and free of anything that we're holding on to that is really blocking us or limiting our potential to truly love and to truly be and to be free. All right, so mirror number 3 is the mirror of what we perceive to have lost or given away about ourselves. So pieces of ourselves that we feel we've lost. So whether that's from, previous situations where we've given away our power, given away our voice, or, challenging life experiences or traumas where we've been left with a diminished sense of self or sense of worthiness, anywhere where we feel we are missing or incomplete within ourselves, will attract people into our lives that possess those same qualities that we feel we've lost. And what will happen is we'll hook ourselves into that person because that person is fulfilling us in a way that we feel like we need. And so this is definitely very applicable to intimate relationships because a lot of very strong attachments can form where there's like a filling in of voids within the other person. But the thing about this is that, we never truly lose anything about us, all right? So it's a perceived loss. And what's really powerful about this is you can look at, people in your life where you really admire particular qualities about them. And if you really tune in and you really reflect on what it is that you admire and why, most often those same qualities are simply ones that you are looking to revive and cultivate within yourself, and that they're already there. You just can't see them. They're just masked or hidden. So it's a really empowering process to see, if there are people in your life that you really love and admire for particular qualities, those are things that you are looking to cultivate more of within yourself. All right, so the 4th mirror is the mirror of what we most fear. So if you have deep fears that are unresolved, that are within you still, you'll, again, attract relationships, attract people, attract situations into your life that will reflect those fears to you. So again, it's not, it's not to, make life horrible for you. The universe really just wants us to be fully free, to be fully resolved, to be fully healed. So fear is not meant to be, held on to and bottled up. Fear is actually it can be a very empowering thing and can help wake us up to a lot of things in our life that we're meant to wake up to. We just have to be willing to see it. So if you're experiencing fear, if there's a long-standing pattern of fear that occurs to you within relationships or within certain people or situations, it's really something to look at. You got to look inside and ask yourself, what is the fear? What am I afraid of? And when you really look at it and you just really shine the light of your awareness on the fears that can be maybe scary to look at within you, then they will dissolve, they will dissipate, and you will no longer attract the people and situations that will be reflecting that fear to you because it will no longer be necessary. It'll no longer be bottled up inside of you, and you'll be able to experience so much more freedom inside and out. All right, the 5th mirror is the mirror of our greatest act of compassion. And this is all about looking at ourselves as the mirror. Through the mirror of ourselves, really seeing the perfection of who we are and the perfection of life. Because as human beings, we have a natural tendency to focus on what we call imperfections about ourselves. We focus on the things that we don't like, or that we judge, that we analyze, that we wish were different. And this mirror of our own imperfections, seeming imperfections, is a perfect and beautiful opportunity to really see the perfection of life itself and to open our hearts to compassion. Because true compassion starts within ourselves. If we can't have compassion for us, we can never truly have full compassion for other people. So it's so important to really look at our seeming imperfections, the things that we judge about ourselves, to just open our hearts to those things and to fully love and accept them as they are, and to see the perfection in the imperfection. I actually made a video a couple weeks ago about the trap of perfectionism, so it's kind of, ties into that. But this last mirror about ourselves being the mirror and really looking within to see what are we meant to learn, right? How can I have more compassion for myself in each and every moment? All right, so those are the 5 mirrors that Gregg Braden talks about in the Divine Matrix. And, there's many other subtle mirrors that you can tune into, as you pay attention, as you start observing your life and your interactions and people and situations, and asking yourself, what is this person or what is this situation here to teach me about myself? What can I learn about myself? How can I take more personal responsibility for how I'm creating the situation, or for why I am experiencing this particular experience in my life? So again, it's really about empowering yourself to be fully self-responsible and to become the empowered creator that you are meant to be. Because the more that you can just notice these patterns within yourself and how they're being reflected to you in life, naturally they just start dissipating. They just start releasing, and you can really truly embody your full bright light and power. And you'll be able to become a much more clear and effective manifester as well, because you're no longer needing those reflections that are here to teach you about what's going on within you, about your judgments and your fears and so on. So I hope this was really valuable for you. I know it was so valuable for me. And, I'd really love to hear from you. Please leave me a comment down below. Give me your feedback, your comments, your questions. I love hearing from you and really getting a dialogue and conversation going here. So have a wonderful rest of your day. Make sure you pay attention to the reflections in your life, and I'll talk with you soon.